Hello, this is a continuation of the first video I made on 15.1, double integrals over rectangular regions. So I'm taking a look at page 2. Estimate the volume of the solid that lies above the rectangular region R, 0 to 2 for the x values, 0 to 2 for the y values, so more specifically it's the square here. And below the elliptic paraboloid, z equals 16 minus x squared minus 2y squared by dividing R into 4 equal rectangles. So here I'm actually dividing it into 4 equal squares. So you have a paraboloid opening down, okay, up at 16. So what we're going to be finding here is the volume above the square but under the paraboloid. So I drew the paraboloid over here on the left. I got the value of 4 by setting y equal to 0 and solving. I got the value of 2, square root of 2, by setting x equal to 0, and z equal to 0. Sorry, when I got the 4, z was equal to 0, y was equal to 0. When I got the 2 rad 2, z was equal to 0, and x was equal to 0. Okay, and then obviously I got the 16 by setting x and y equal to 0. So that helps you to draw a picture of that elliptical paraboloid. So what we're looking for is we're looking for the volume, okay, that is above the xy plane, above this square region, but at the same time below the elliptical paraboloid. So we're looking for the volume above this here, contained by that surface. So here I drew a picture of the xy plane, and so I put the points 1, 2, 1, 2, and I labeled these points in the corners 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. So we call this R, this point here is R sub 1, 1. Then this point here is R sub 1, 2, R sub 2, 1, R sub 2, 2. So the area of each little square region is equal to 1. And this is just a picture on the left of what it looks like when you're doing a Riemann sum. Because remember, you're doing an approximation, so instead of rectangles, you have these rectangular prisms. The volume is approximately f of 1, 1 times delta A, which we know is 1, plus f of 1, 2 times delta A. Oh, before I do that, I should do the notation for the limit. I should do the limit notation. So, okay, the volume, if I don't put the limit, then it's just a Riemann sum. So the volume is approximately the volume is approximately I equals 1 to 2, j equals 1 to 2 of f of x sub I, y sub j. Well, they're equal to the same thing here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. J times delta A. So that would be equal to f of 1, 1. So it's like a right Riemann sum times delta A, which we know is 1, plus f of 1, 2, delta A, plus f of 2, 1, delta A, plus f of 2, 2, delta A. So these are like right Riemann sums, but in 3D. So if you look at the function z and you sub in 1, 1, you get 13. We know delta A is 1. When you sub in 1, 2, you get 7. Sub in 2, 1, you get 10. And then sub in 2, 2, you get 4. So this is an approximation for the volume, 34. Okay, in the next question, they're asking us to evaluate the volume under this region, but above this rectangular region. So when we're looking at this, we need to keep in mind that what this looks like. So we're saying z equals 1 minus x squared. That means that x squared plus z squared is equal to 1. Okay, but because of the square root, you need to look at all the nuances in math, as you know. 1 minus x squared has to be greater than or equal to 0. So we're talking about the xy plane and above. So that means it's going to be a semicircle because it's going to be the top half of a circle. But these semicircles are going to be stacking up across your plane. So here we have our x, y, z planes. And we know that x squared plus y squared, x squared plus z squared, okay, is equal to 1. And of course, we're above the xy plane. And then we need to make sure that we're going from -1 to 1. So that's for the x values. We're going from -1 to 1. This is above this region. And then we're going from -2 to 2. So this is the rectangular region. And we have all these little semicircles stacking up across the plane. So we're looking to find this volume. So this volume is, we have half of a cylinder of radius 1. This is half a cylinder of radius 1. Because z equals 1 minus x squared. Extending from y equals -2 to y equals 2. So when you're doing a semicircle, you know it's pi times r squared divided by 2. And then the length of the cylinder, which is the height of the cylinder in this case, is 4. So you can just do a geometric interpretation of this, which is the analog of 2D. When we did 2D, we often did geometric interpretations because this does not say approximate. This says evaluate. So keep that in mind. All right, let's take a look at the next page. So the next page is talking about the midpoint rule for double integrals. So when you're doing this, you know that your approximation, we're going to call x sub I hat the midpoint and y sub I hat the midpoint, okay, as evidenced here in these directions. So this just means that they're the midpoints. So it's the same notation we had before. Okay, this integral, this volume, is approximately, so this is not going to be a limit. We have I equals 1 to m, and then we have j equals 1 to n of f of x sub I hat, y sub I hat, that just means midpoint, times delta A. So it says use the midpoint rule to estimate this integral, okay, by splitting it up. So you have from 0 to 2 for the x values. So if this is x, we're going from 0 to 2. And for the y values, it says to go from 0 to 1. So this is going to be a half. So these are the 4 rectangles that we have. So keep in mind that the midpoint, you know, is going to vary depending on which of these 4 boxes you're in. So in this first box, you have to think about what x sub I hat is and what y sub I hat is. So what is x sub I hat? That's correct, half of 1. What is y sub I hat? That's correct, 1/4. So this would be 1/2, 1/4. If you go to the midpoint of this box up here, your x value would still be the same. Your y value would be between 0.5 and 0.1, which is 3/4. Down here, your x value would be between 1 and 2, in the midpoint of 1 and 2. And then your y value would be the 1/4. And then up here you'd have 1.5, which you can write as 3/2 if you prefer, 1/4. So when we're estimating this, we're going to have f of 1/2, 1/4 times delta A. Well, now think about the area of each of these boxes. So if you get the area, you have 1 by 1/2. So the area of each box is 1/2. So the delta A is going to be 1/2. And then we're going to have f of 1/2, 3/4. Okay, and you would have to substitute these into the surface up here. And that would be times 1/2 again, because each of these areas is equal, plus f of 1.5, 1/4, or 3/2, 1/4, times 1/2. And then f of 3/2, 3/4. Oh, whoops. Sorry about that, guys. 3/2, 3/4 times 1/2. At any rate, you sub these into the function, and then you put your answer. Same thing as in BC Calc and AB Calc. You get no extra points, okay, for simplifying. So just sub in. So you have 1/2 minus 3 times 1/4 squared times 1/2. Yada, yada. I don't think you guys need to hear me doing that. So that would be an approximation for the volume below that surface, but above that rectangular region. Okay, average value works the same way, okay, in multi. Let's first go back to ABBC. So the average, whoops, okay, from A to B, as you know, the formula was 1 over B minus A times the integral from A to B of f of x dx. That was the average value. So if you're given information about the velocity and you want the average velocity, you use average value, for instance. Okay, whereas here, when we're looking for the average value, we would have 1 over the area of R instead of just B minus A, because it's not linear anymore. Think about it. You're in 3D. And then the integral over the region R, that rectangular region, times dA of f of xy times dA. So that gives us that this integral is just f av, all right, times the area of R. So I'm just working backwards, guys. That's just simple algebra. Okay, so keep that in mind. So when we're looking down here and they give us this information about the contour map, we have that M equals N, which equals 4. There are 16 subrectangles. The area of each subrectangle, delta A, is 1/16 of the whole. Well, the whole would be this 388. This is 388 times the 276. It's 1/16 because we have 16 equal subrectangles. So 6,693 square miles is the area of each. Okay, they're asking us how we would estimate the average snowfall. So to estimate the average snowfall, we'd have 1 over the area times the integral over R. Okay, this is R. This rectangle is R of f of xy times dA. So that's 1 over 6,963. We could factor out the delta A because we're doing an approximation here. So this is approximately. And so we have our delta A, and then we're going to use all of these points that they're pointing to. So we have first 0. Okay, I would say this is approximately 15. Then this is approximately 8. This is a contour map, so you have to follow the contour. Then we have, all right, 7, 2, 25. Okay, it gets a little monotonous, but you get the idea. So this is an application problem. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be good enough, which I know bothers most of us because we're used to, in math, getting a definitive answer, but we're doing an approximation here, and we're dealing with this contour map, so we would have to accept different answers to allow for a little bit of variability, because you can't really tell the difference between 17.5 and 17.51, let's say, right? Wouldn't that be a little silly? So it's approximately 12.9 is what I got from this. Okay, you don't need to see me do that calculation. All right, I'm going to take a break here because it's going to take a while to upload this file. All right, here we go. Thanks.